I caught him secretly watching other women. So I decided to make him pay. I see him across the room, phone in hand, and my chest tightens so fast it hurts. I freeze for a moment, trying to make sense of what I just saw. Over 100 Facebook profiles. Local girls. Faces I don't know. Faces I wish I didn't. My fingers curl around my coffee mug, knuckles white. But I can't look away. He doesn't notice me yet. He's so focused, almost hypnotized. I should turn and walk away. I should scream. I should demand answers. But instead, I sit there, pretending I'm casually scrolling through my feed while my mind races in circles. I replay the moment, my stomach twisting. Why? Why would he do this? The rational part of me whispers, maybe he's bored, maybe it's harmless curiosity, maybe it means nothing. But my heart, the part that's been bruised before, knows better. It always does. He glances up, eyes meeting mine, and something flickers across his face. Guilt? Surprise? I can't tell. I want to confront him, to shake him, to demand truth. But I don't. I swallow the lump in my throat and force a small, polite smile. You okay? He asks, voice casual, like nothing happened. Yeah, I say. My voice tighter than I intend. Too tight. My chest aches, not just with hurt, but with anger I can't yet name. I watch him closely, memorizing the way his eyes dart nervously, the way his fingers hover over his phone like a secret he doesn't want me to uncover. I tell myself I'll ignore it, that it's just a phase, that maybe I'm imagining things. For months, I try to hold it in, to make sense of it, to convince myself that I'm overreacting. Every time I see him laughing at a profile, every time he double taps a photo, my stomach churns. I feel like I'm losing my mind, doubting my instincts, wondering if I've misunderstood everything. I start to notice patterns, faces he keeps returning to, profiles he lingers on. It's not just idle scrolling, it's obsession, subtle, but sharp. And the worst part? We have each other's Face ID. He knows I can see. He has to know I can see. One night, curiosity, and maybe a little retaliation, gets the better of me. I start checking. Just a little, I tell myself, just to see if it hurts as much as I think, and it does. Worse. It gnaws at me, but there's a strange thrill in knowing, in catching him in his secret world. I try to convince myself I'm just gathering evidence, that I'll confront him soon, that I'll finally get answers. But deep down, there's another impulse, a darker, more dangerous one, that whispers I could turn this around, that maybe I could make him feel what I feel just for a moment. And then it hits me. He doesn't notice. He never notices. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and the hurt festers into something else. Resentment, longing, confusion. I start to imagine how it would feel to break the cycle, to claim back some control, to make sense of this twisted puzzle by doing something, just as reckless. But tonight is different. Tonight he's here. Sitting so close I can feel the heat from his body, the faint scent of his cologne mixing with the air around me. His fingers tap nervously on the table, brushing the rim of his coffee cup. His gaze catches mine, and for a split second, the world narrows down to just us. Two people tangled in secrets, each carrying our own brand of guilt and desire. I want to reach across the table, to grab him, to shake him, to demand he explain himself. I want to pull away, to disappear, to run. My heart pounds in my ears. There's a charged silence between us, a quiet that's louder than any words could ever be. And I realize as I stare at him that the tension isn't just about what he's done. It's about what we've done to each other without even touching, a push and pull of trust and temptation, pain and longing. I sip my coffee, trying to steady my shaking hands, but it's hopeless. I can feel the storm building inside me. I can see it reflected in his eyes, even if he won't admit it. And then, Just as quickly as it comes, the moment breaks. He looks away, laughs nervously, and for a second I feel the sharp sting of disappointment. But underneath that disappointment, a spark flickers. Something dangerous, something alive. And I know that this isn't over. Not by a long shot. The apartment is quiet tonight. The kind of quiet that makes every creak in the floorboards and tick of the clock feel amplified. I sit on the edge of the couch, phone in hand, pretending to scroll, though my mind is elsewhere. On him. On what? I know. On the silent war simmering between us. He moves around the kitchen, humming softly, opening and closing the fridge, brushing past me as if he doesn't notice the tension pressing down like a weight. But I notice. I always notice. I can feel the brush of his shoulder, the faint warmth lingering a second longer than necessary, and my stomach twists in ways I can't name. Something smells good, I say, trying to sound casual, though my voice betrays me with its uneven rhythm. He smiles. That lazy, easy smile that can disarm me and enrage me at the same time. Just reheating some leftovers, he says. But the way his eyes flicker toward me, a glance that lingers, tells me he's aware. He always knows more than he admits. Try to focus on the mundane, on the smell of garlic and basil in the kitchen, the soft hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of cars passing outside. But my thoughts keep circling back to him. To the profiles he keeps returning to the way my chest tightens when I imagine him scrolling through them, searching for something he's not supposed to be seeking. I reach for a glass of water, my hand shaking slightly, and when he notices, he raises an eyebrow. "You okay?" he asks again. The repetition, the concern, or maybe the curiosity, feels like a thread pulling me closer, even as it irritates me. "I'm fine," I say, though the words taste like lies. The air between us thickens, charged with something that neither of us wants to acknowledge. And yet, there it is, an unspoken understanding that something is off, something dangerous, something that could shift the balance between us in an instant. We sit across from each other at the small dining table, both pretending to eat, but really just existing in the same space, the proximity unbearable and intoxicating at the same time. Every brush of his hand as he reaches for a plate, every accidental touch of our elbows sends a jolt through me. My body remembers everything, even the things I'm trying to bury, the betrayals, the gaslighting, the nights I've stayed awake wondering if I was the problem. I decide to push it, just a little. A test. Something to see if he notices, if he feels the same dangerous pull I do. I let my phone light up with a message from someone I used to see, someone I know I shouldn't be thinking about. My thumb hovers over the screen, and I glance at him, pretending it's nothing. Pretending I don't want him to see, though a part of me hopes he will. He does notice. Of course he notices. His eyes flick toward my phone just for a fraction of a second, and I catch that look. Confusion, suspicion, maybe even a hint of guilt. My pulse quickens. I want to pull back, to deny, to say it's nothing, but the truth tastes too dangerous, too satisfying. I shift in my seat, leaning closer under the guise of reaching for a napkin. His gaze follows me, and the silence stretches, taut like a wire between us. "You're quiet tonight," he murmurs, voice low, almost a tease. I smile faintly, a small curve that doesn't reach my eyes. "Just tired," I say, but he doesn't. Believe me, he never does. There's a moment, just a heartbeat, when I think about telling him everything. About how I've been watching, testing, trying to make sense of him, of us. But then I hesitate. Because what would that confession cost me? And what would it cost him? Instead, I let the tension simmer, letting it grow into something almost unbearable. We sit there, inches apart, the warmth from his body seeping into mine, and I feel the pull of desire tangled with anger, with fear, with all the unspoken words lodged between us. And then he moves. Just slightly, but enough. His hand brushes mine as he reaches for his glass, and the touch is electric, sending a shiver through me. I don't pull away. I can't. The moment stretches, suspended in a fragile balance, the kind of delicate, dangerous space where one word, one move, could tip everything over. I don't know why you do some of the things you do, I whisper, more to myself than to him, letting the words hang between us. My throat tightens, but I continue. And I don't know why I keep letting it get to me. He looks at me then, really looks, and I see something shift in his expression. Something like understanding, like recognition, like he feels the same pull that's been driving me crazy for months. The room grows hotter, the space between us smaller, until it feels like every breath we take is shared, every thought overlapping in ways we can't untangle. And yet, even as the tension curls tighter around us, there's a thread of fear. Because I want him. I want to reach across the table and close the distance, to taste what I've been denying myself, but I also want to punish him. To see if he notices, to see if he cares as much as I do. So we sit there, on the edge of something, neither of us daring to leap, both of us aware that the next move could destroy us, or finally bring us together. The night stretches on, and I realize with a mix of dread and anticipation that this is only the beginning. The tension between us is no longer just about the profiles, the secrets, or the betrayals. It's about everything we've held back, everything we've wanted, to say everything we've feared. And I know deep down that neither of us will leave this moment the same. The rain starts without warning, tapping against the windows in soft, erratic rhythms. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, phone abandoned, my thoughts a chaotic tangle of frustration, longing, and the kind of hurt that doesn't have words, yet. He's across the room, leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed, eyes dark and unreadable. There's a weight between us tonight, heavier than any silence we've shared before. I can feel him watching me, and it makes my skin tingle, in ways I haven't allowed myself to feel in months. I want to look away, to pretend I'm unaffected, but the truth is, I can't. Not when he's there, with that impossible mix of care and recklessness that makes my heart both ache and race. I can't stop thinking about it, I finally admit. Voice low, almost a whisper, as if the words themselves are dangerous. Dangerous because once spoken, they change the air between us. Dangerous because they might break something or finally start to fix it. He doesn't move immediately. He just studies me, slow and deliberate, like he's weighing every possibility, every reaction. And then, in the quietest voice I've ever heard from him, he says, "About what?" "Everything," I whisper. "The profiles, your scrolling, me trying to understand why you keep going back, me doing the same thing." His eyes flash, shock, maybe guilt, maybe something more subtle, something I can't name. And for a heartbeat, the room is suspended in a tension that is almost unbearable. I feel the heat from him, even from across the room, the pull of proximity like gravity I can't resist. I take a cautious step toward him. 1, 2. Each movement slow, deliberate, a silent negotiation of how close is too close. He doesn't back away, doesn't flinch. Instead, he lets his hands drop from his chest, and the space between us feels alive, charged with every unspoken thought we've held back. I needed to see, I admit, and the confession slips out in a rush I didn't anticipate. I needed to know if it would hurt you as much as it hurt me, and it did, seeing you like that. He swallows, voice low, rough. I didn't mean to hurt you. There's a pause, then softer, more vulnerable. I don't even know why. I did it. That admission, so simple, so human, pulls something in me. A tenderness I didn't think I could feel for him tonight. I move closer, so close that I can see the faint trembling in his jaw, the way his chest rises and falls in uneven breaths. And then, almost against my better judgment, I reach out, my fingers brush his arm. Just a touch. Electric. Immediate. I see it in his eyes. The flash of recognition, the way he inhales sharply, the subtle hitch in his posture. He doesn't pull away. I'm tired of holding it in, I whisper. My voice shakes slightly, betraying the vulnerability I've been, keeping locked away. I'm tired of pretending I'm fine when I'm not. I just want to understand you. I want to understand us. His hand lifts slowly, hesitant, and covers mine. Our fingers intertwine, tentative at first, then with more certainty. That touch, that simple act, feels like an anchor in the storm, a bridge over months of confusion, fear, and silent anger. I want that too, he murmurs, voice low and raw. And in that moment, everything shifts. The room, the air, the space between us, it tightens, electric and alive. I lean closer, and for a moment, the world outside the room, the rain, the city, the past, disappears. There's just him and me, heartbeats mingling, breaths shallow, tension curling around us like smoke, and then it happens. The first kiss. Slow, tentative, searching. My lips brush against his, barely a touch, but it carries months of longing, confusion, and a strange, desperate hope. His response is immediate, hesitant at first, then firmer, deeper, as if he's been holding back the same thing I've been. I can feel the pull of him, the weight of everything unsaid pressing into every motion. My hand moves to his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath my fingers. His hands cradle my face, thumbs brushing over my cheekbones in a touch so tender it leaves me breathless. For a few moments, time bends. There is no past, no future, just the raw, aching present of being so close, so intimate, so undeniably connected. And yet, even as the warmth spreads through me, a thread of fear winds through my chest. Because the truth is, this is dangerous. Because I know I've walked to the edge of something I can't fully control. A sudden knock at the door, a mundane interruption, pulls us apart, the spell broken. He steps back, both of us breathing unevenly, hearts hammering in tandem. The tension remains, thick and unspoken, like an electric charge waiting to ignite again. I glance at him, eyes searching, needing reassurance. He meets my gaze, and I see it, the same desire, the same vulnerability, the same questions that I carry like scars. And I know, even in the quiet aftermath of that single kiss, that we've crossed a line we can't uncross. This is the beginning, I realize. The first confession, the first breach of emotional armor. And it terrifies me just as much as it excites me. The apartment is dim tonight, lit only by the soft amber glow of the bedside lamp. Shadows stretch across the walls, folding around us like secrets we've never spoken aloud. I'm on the bed, knees pulled up, body tense, heart racing, and he's standing just beyond the edge, watching me. I feel exposed under his gaze, but it's a delicious kind of exposure, the kind that leaves you raw and alive all at once. He moves closer, slow, deliberate, like he's tracing invisible lines through the air toward me. I don't stop him. I don't want to. Why did you do it? I ask, voice barely more than a whisper, but steady. Not because I want to hurt him, but because I need to know, need to hear it, need to understand. He hesitates, jaw tight, eyes, flicking away for a fraction of a second before returning to mine. I don't know, he admits, voice low, strained. He swallows hard. I wasn't thinking. I was stupid. I feel a rush of something. Anger, sadness, longing, collide in my chest, twisting and knotting until I'm not sure what I feel anymore. I shift on the bed, leaning back on my hands, watching him carefully. Months of it, I whisper. And you didn't stop. Even knowing I could see. Even knowing how it made me feel. He swallows again, steps closer. Closer than before until he's barely breathing. Against me. I wasn't proud, he admits, voice rough. But I didn't know how to stop. The honesty, fragile and shaky, does something to me. My heart flutters. My chest aches with longing. But there's also a fire building, a heat that's equal, parts desire and frustration. I reach out, letting my hand hover near his chest. He doesn't pull away. Instead, he leans down, pressing the barest touch of his forehead to mine. I don't want to hurt you, he says, voice trembling slightly. I don't ever want to hurt you. And in that moment, all the walls I've built around my heart start to crumble. Months of fear, betrayal, guilt, they melt away in the warmth of his closeness, in the electricity of his presence. My fingers curl into his shirt, pulling him a fraction closer, and he responds, hands sliding down to my waist, grounding me in a way that's both terrifying and exhilarating. Then don't, I whisper, my lips brushing against his shoulder, a feather-light touch, testing the waters, seeing how far I can go. His breath hitches. I won't, he says, voice raw, low. And then he kisses me, slow, searching, lingering. It's not frantic. It's not desperate. It's intentional, each movement a declaration of vulnerability, of need, of trust. I arch into him, letting the connection take over, letting months of tension, anger, and longing coalesce into something almost unbearable. My hands explore cautiously, memorizing, tracing the lines of him without rushing, savoring each small, intimate contact. His lips find mine again, deeper this time, and I feel the weight of everything unspoken in that single motion. You're here, I murmur against his lips, and he responds with a soft chuckle, a mixture of relief and desire. Always, he whispers back. The room seems to shrink around us, the world outside dissolving into nothing but our shared heat, our rapid, shallow breaths the way our hearts seem to beat in tandem. I feel his hand brush a stray strand of hair from my face, fingers lingering at my cheek, and I close my eyes, savoring the sensation, the intimacy, the unspoken promise embedded in the gesture. I was going to hurt you back, I admit, voice trembling slightly, because I was tired. Tired of being hurt, tired of being made to feel like it was my fault. But now, I trail off, unsure if I can continue, unsure if I want to. He tightens his hold on me, grounding me, anchoring me in this fragile, electric moment. I know, he says softly. I know. And I hate that I made you feel that way. But we can fix this. Together. I let out a shaky breath, feeling tears prick the corners of my eyes. It's not just desire that's flooding through me. It's relief. It's vulnerability. It's the recognition that this closeness, this honesty, this raw exposure is exactly what I've been craving, even as I fought it. And then, a small, hesitant laugh escapes me, a mixture of disbelief and wonder. Together, I echo, leaning my forehead against his chest now, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath my ear. You really mean that? I do, he whispers, every word. The storm outside intensifies. Rain lashing the windows, but inside there's only warmth. Only closeness. Only the delicate, precarious balance of two people standing on the edge of trust and desire, finally letting themselves fall into it. I close my eyes, letting the vulnerability wash over me, letting the longing, the frustration, the anger dissolve into the simple, undeniable truth. We're here. We're real. And for the first time in a long time, I believe, truly believe, that this connection, this reckless, beautiful intimacy might just survive. The room is quiet now, the storm having passed, leaving a soft, steady drizzle against the windows. The city outside is muted, the world hushed, as if giving us space to breathe, to feel, to finally exist without distraction. He's beside me, on the bed, arms wrapped around me, and for the first time in months, maybe years, I feel the weight of my chest lift. I press my forehead against his shoulder, letting the steady rhythm of his heartbeat ground me. Every tension, every fear, every ache I've carried for so long seems to dissolve in the warmth of his presence. And I realize I've been craving this closeness, this honesty, this unguarded intimacy, far more than I understood. I need to tell you something, I murmur, voice low, hesitant. Even now, even after everything, there's still a tremor of fear. Something I've never said. He tilts his head, brushing a soft kiss across my hair, and murmurs, "Whatever it is, I can handle it. I want to handle it." I take a deep breath, savoring the intimacy, the trust in his words. I tried to get back at you, I admit, voice trembling. I went to someone else, just to see if it would make sense, if it would make the pain stop. But it didn't. And I never told you because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to face how guilty I'd feel, and I wasn't ready to see if it would change how you see me. There's a moment of silence, heavy and fragile. I expect anger, judgment, maybe distance, but instead, he shifts closer, hands holding mine, fingers threading together. His gaze is steady, warm, unwavering. I'm not proud of what I did either, he admits, voice raw, low. The profiles, the scrolling. I don't know why I couldn't stop, and I hate that I hurt you. But hearing you tell me this now, it doesn't change how I feel about you. If anything, it makes me want to be better, to be all in, to be honest, completely. The honesty, the vulnerability, pierces something deep inside me. I feel tears prick. My eyes, not from pain, but from relief, from recognition, from the beauty of two flawed people finally letting themselves be completely, terrifyingly real with each other. I lean forward, brushing my lips to his in a kiss that's soft at first, exploratory, tasting the warmth of forgiveness, the spark of desire, the weight of months of tension finally released. He responds immediately, hands cradling my face, pulling me closer, grounding me in this moment, this connection. It's not frantic, it's not hurried, it's deliberate, slow, like we're learning each other again for the first time. Every brush of his lips, every gentle touch carries months of longing, confusion, hurt, and hope all at once. I melt into him, letting myself feel everything I've denied, everything I've feared, everything I've wanted. I don't want to lose you, I whisper, pulling back just enough to meet his eyes, searching, needing reassurance. You won't, he promises, voice low and certain. Not now, not ever. I'm here, I'm yours. I close the distance again, lips pressing to his in a kiss that deepens, carrying not just desire, but a shared promise, a promise of honesty, vulnerability, and trust. Our hands roam gently, deliberately, mapping each other's presence, savoring the closeness that we've both craved and feared. And then, in the quiet aftermath, We collapse together on the bed, bodies entwined, breathing in sync. I rest my head against his chest, feeling the steady beat beneath my ear, the rise and fall of his breath, and I know, in a way I haven't before, that we are exactly where we're supposed to be. I'm scared sometimes, I admit, voice muffled against him. Scared of repeating the past. Scared of hurting or being hurt again. He strokes my hair gently, thumb brushing across my temple. I know, he says softly, and that's okay. Scared doesn't mean weak. It means we care. It means we're alive. And we'll face it, together. I let out a shaky laugh, a mixture of relief and disbelief. Together, I echo, leaning into him further, letting myself finally rest. Not just my body, but my heart, my mind, my fears. Every part of me finally allowed to relax, to trust, to feel. Outside, the drizzle fades to a gentle mist, the city lights reflecting softly against wet streets. Inside, there's warmth, safety, and the fragile, perfect intimacy of two people who've been through pain, who've tested each other, who've fallen apart and found their way back again. I trace his jawline with a fingertip, memorizing, imprinting him in my mind. I love you, I whisper, almost afraid to say it aloud, as if words might shatter the delicate moment. He smiles softly, lips brushing my temple, voice low and reverent. I love you too, and I always will. In that moment, all the confusion, the hurt, the secrets, and the near misses fade away. There's only us, only this, only the understanding that we are both flawed, both broken, both human, and yet somehow together, perfect in our imperfection. I close my eyes, letting the warmth, the closeness, the shared vulnerability wash over me, and for the first time in a long time, I feel whole. We lie there, tangled, quiet, hearts beating in sync, the world outside a distant echo. And I know, without question, that whatever comes next, we will face it together. That love, messy, complicated, terrifying, and breathtaking, has finally found its way home.